We have continued to say this very, very succinctly. A year ago, we were being mocked for it. Today, we were being congratulated for it.
Toyota avoided a billion-dollar mistake to reach the top. Toyota truly stands tall in the automotive arena, masterfully avoiding the mistakes that have tripped up countless competitors. Thanks to their knack for foreseeing issues and implementing smart strategies, they've established themselves as a beacon of reliability and excellence. So what's their secret? How does a powerhouse like Toyota consistently outmaneuver the competition while others struggle? And what can you learn from them? The resilient Titan. In 2023, Toyota Motor Corporation, along with its luxury brand Lexus, as well as subsidiaries Daihatsu and Hino, hit an incredible milestone by selling approximately 11.23 million vehicles worldwide. This impressive figure represents a 7.2% growth compared to the previous year. What's driving this surge? Toyota's rise in the automotive world showcases a unique knack for avoiding major pitfalls that could derail other companies. So what keeps Toyota from slipping into the same traps that many of their competitors fall into? Well, there are 3 key mistakes that Toyota has managed to avoid, and that's what's behind their incredible success. I will break it down for you, but first give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. The price of progress. In the late 20th century, Toyota was on the verge of transforming from a local car manufacturer into a global powerhouse. With excitement buzzing in the air, they set their sights on international markets. But just like riding a wild wave, rapid growth comes with its own set of challenges. From scaling production to understanding cultural nuances, Toyota had to figure out how to keep its cool while expanding its empire. So what exactly did they face during this ambitious expansion journey? When it comes to scaling production, the pressure is intense. Toyota needed to ramp up manufacturing at lightning speed to meet the burgeoning demand for their vehicles. Yet every business knows the risk that comes with this urgency. If production isn't managed carefully, quality can easily take a back seat. We're talking about cars. Safety and reliability aren't just perks, they're non-negotiable. Any slip up in quality control could lead to a cascade of negative consequences, including recalls that can shake a company's reputation to its core. Toyota was acutely aware of this reality, which made the challenge even more daunting. Now let's sprinkle in some cultural complications. Expanding into diverse global markets meant Toyota had to quickly grasp local consumer preferences as well as regulatory environments. What appeals to a car buyer in Japan may not resonate with a buyer in the US or Europe. Navigating these cultural differences while keeping a consistent brand message, it's easier said than done. Additionally, they had to tailor their product offerings to meet the unique expectations of different regions, which can be a challenging balancing act. As if that wasn't complicated enough, Toyota also faced supply chain complexities that arose from its rapid expansion. The more territories you cover, the more intricate logistics become. Increased supply chain intricacies mean higher risks of delays and inconsistencies in product availability. Can you imagine the chaos if a highly anticipated vehicle wasn't available at launch time? It could frustrate potential buyers and lead to lost sales, all the while giving competitors an edge. Clearly, this wasn't a conundrum Toyota could afford to ignore. So how did Toyota manage to navigate these turbulent waters without capsizing? The answer lies in several smart strategies that allowed them to grow sustainably while maintaining the quality they are famous for. Slow and steady. One key approach was adopting a decentralized management structure. By breaking down decision-making authority and empowering local managers, Toyota gave them the freedom to respond swiftly to market needs. This strategy not only provided the flexibility to adapt to unique local conditions, but also ensured that those decisions remained aligned with Toyota's core values. It was like giving each region its own captain to steer the ship. Each one understood the goals, but could navigate the waters in a way that made sense for their specific environment. But empowering employees wasn't the only trick up Toyota's sleeve. They knew that having a well-informed team was crucial to sustaining quality. That's why they invested heavily in training programs for employees at all levels. From assembly line workers to senior management, everyone was educated about Toyota's impeccable quality standards and operational philosophies. This comprehensive training ensured that everyone was singing from the same hymn sheet when it came to delivering outstanding products. Now, let's not forget about the importance of taking a measured approach approach to entering new markets. Rushing headfirst into unfamiliar territories can be a recipe for disaster, and Toyota was smart enough to realize that. Instead of sprinting into new countries, they often took the road less traveled, an approach characterized by gradual market entry. This allowed them the time they needed to fully understand local preferences and to adapt their offerings accordingly. It's the old saying, slow and steady wins the race. They aimed for a strategy that offered them the luxury of time to learn and adapt rather than scrambling to keep up with the pace of demand. In addition to that, Toyota leveraged flexible manufacturing systems, which proved to be a game changer for production. With these adaptable systems in place, they could quickly change production volumes and switch up product types based on consumer demand. Imagine having a factory that could switch gears faster than a race car. This flexibility meant that Toyota could respond to shifts in the market without sacrificing the quality that customers had come to expect. These multifaceted strategies showcased how Toyota not only managed to navigate the choppy waters of rapid growth, but also sustained their stellar reputation for quality. By decentralizing authority, investing in employee training, gradually entering new markets, and implementing flexible manufacturing systems, they created a robust framework that allowed them to thrive even in challenging conditions. As a result, Toyota didn't just survive their expansion phase. They came out stronger, more adaptable, and undeniably better equipped to face future challenges. They illustrated just how important it is for a company to stay agile while keeping its core values intact. Now let's get back to the other mistake that Toyota avoided to get on top: the quality gamble. If you've ever been behind the wheel of a car, you know how crucial it is for that vehicle to function safely and reliably. This is especially true in the automotive industry, where quality isn't just a checkbox on a list, it's a commitment that can make or break a brand. Think about it for a moment. What happens when a car manufacturer cuts corners? We're talking about catastrophic failures, huge recalls, nasty legal battles, and a brand reputation that can suffer irreparable harm. Toyota gets this better than most. For them, quality is not merely a goal, it's woven into the very fabric of their corporate philosophy. Now, what's Toyota's secret sauce when it comes to quality? Well, it has three main principles that guide their every move. First off, we have the idea that customer expectations dictate the quality required. This means that when Toyota sets its quality standards, they're not just ticking off regulatory boxes. No, they're focused on what customers truly want and expect from their vehicles. They aim to exceed those expectations. Imagine driving a car that just meets safety regulations. Wouldn't you want something that goes above and beyond? Then there's the principle that quality is built in at every stage of the process. This isn't just a buzzword, it's a core belief. At Toyota, every single worker, from the assembly line employee all the way to the top brass, takes ownership of the quality of their work. This unique approach helps nip defects in the bud before they even make it down the production line. It's like a team of superheroes, each responsible for ensuring their part of the mission is a success. Finally, we have the philosophy of continuous improvement, known as Kaizen. This Japanese term translates to change for the better, and it's been a game changer for Toyota. Employees are not just encouraged to identify problems, they're empowered to suggest ways to make their work better. This culture of relentless improvement is like fuel for innovation and excellence. So how does Toyota actually implement these lofty principles? The quest for perfection. Well, let's take a closer look at the robust quality assurance protocols they've put in place. First and foremost, there's the system of standardized work. Think of this as Toyota's secret recipe for consistency. By employing standardized procedures, they create a solid baseline for operations. This structured approach makes it a whole lot easier to spot any deviations and address them right away, facilitating a loop of continuous improvement that's ever revolving. Now let's talk about Poka-yoke, which is a fascinating concept that translates to mistake proofing. This technique involves designing processes in such a way that errors become either impossible or immediately visible. Imagine an assembly line outfitted with fixtures that make it virtually impossible to install a part incorrectly. That's exactly what Toyota does, empowering their employees with the tools to get it right every single time. Another important piece in this intricate puzzle is quality circles. These are small groups of workers who come together regularly to discuss challenges and propose actionable solutions. This collaborative atmosphere taps into the collective wisdom of employees and breeds a sense of ownership over their processes. It's not just about doing a job, it's about continuously finding ways to make that job easier and better. And who doesn't love a workspace that values their input and creativity? Toyota recognizes that they can't go it alone, therefore they collaborate with suppliers to ensure every single component that goes into their cars meets their razor-sharp quality standards. Through these partnerships, Toyota extends the quality assurance journey far beyond the factory walls. It's a relationship built on trust, shared vision, and the relentless pursuit of excellence. Now let's pause for a sec to reflect on what all of this means for Toyota's standing in the industry. Thanks to these rigorous protocols and their unwavering commitment to quality, Toyota has established itself as a leader in quality assurance. While many competitors have stumbled into the pitfalls of poor quality, leading to devastating recalls and brand degradation, Toyota has mostly avoided these traps. Their reputation for quality has become a beacon in a foggy sea of inadequacy. Last but not least, leadership crisis. Let's talk about a time when Toyota faced a monumental challenge that shook the very foundation of its reputation. Between 2009 and 2010, the automotive giant found itself embroiled in a significant recall crisis that involved over 8 million vehicles globally. Over 8 million! This situation was birthed out of terrifying safety concerns related to unintended acceleration, which wasn't just a mere inconvenience. It carried severe implications for driver safety and public perception. The unwavering reputation Toyota had painstakingly built over decades was suddenly cast into doubt, and this crisis would test the brand like never before. Initially, the root of the problem was attributed to something seemingly innocuous: floor mat entrapment. However, as investigations unfolded and the story deepened, it became clear that the crisis was far more intricate. Sticky accelerator pedals were identified as a significant concern, and that's when the alarms really started blaring. The tragic truth: reports indicated that there were 93 fatalities linked to these defects, and you can imagine the wave of panic that surged through the hearts of consumers and regulators alike. When it came to addressing this alarming situation, Toyota's initial response was met with heavy criticism for being tepid and inadequate. Leaders within the company appeared to hesitate, reluctant to fully acknowledge the gravity of the issue at hand, which set off a firestorm of speculation and accusations of negligence. So, what exactly went wrong in those early moments? Let's talk about denial and deflection. In the early stages of the crisis, many within Toyota's management downplayed the seriousness of the problems they faced. Instead of recognizing their potential design flaws, the narrative leaned toward attributing these alarming incidents to driver error. How's that for a dodge? Meanwhile, the lack of transparency only compounded the issue. Communication with stakeholders was lacking, which led to a frenzy of misinformation swirling around in the media. Public trust, already fragile, took an additional hit as this veil of secrecy made people skeptical of Toyota's commitment to safety. As expected, this led to intense scrutiny from regulatory bodies, especially in the United States, where organizations like the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration began to take a closer look at Toyota's operations. The pressure mounted, forcing the company into a more thorough and comprehensive recall because the stakes couldn't be higher. Lessons from the edge. The insightful takeaways from this critical period offered valuable lessons for the automotive titan. Above all, the need for transparency emerged as a clear theme. The crisis reinforced the idea that open communication with customers and stakeholders is crucial, especially in emergencies. Being transparent helps mitigate speculation, and let's face it, no one likes a guessing game when it comes to their safety. Another critical lesson revolved around proactive problem identification. It became clear that anticipating potential issues before they snowballed into a full-blown crisis was absolutely essential. This requires rigorous quality control measures and fostering a culture where employees can report problems without fear of repercussion. No one wants to be that person who breaks the bad news. The importance of cross-functional collaboration was another enlightening takeaway. Departments had to come together: engineering, manufacturing, legal, public relations, you name it, to create a unified front in crisis management. It's almost like putting together a dream team, each department bringing its strengths to the table so they could tackle crises effectively. A key component of the shift in mindset was the need for a customer-centric focus. Prioritizing customer safety over profits is paramount during a crisis. As the dust settled, Toyota's later measures to address these pressing concerns underscored the company's commitment to the well-being of its consumers. In response to the lessons learned from the recall crisis, Toyota didn't just lick its wounds. It built a comprehensive, proactive crisis management strategy. This strategy was designed to reinforce resilience against future challenges. And wow, did they put their ideas into action! Impervious to implosion, one of the most significant changes was the formation of a crisis management team. Toyota established a dedicated unit that included senior executives from various functions throughout the company. This task force was responsible for coordinating responses during emergencies and ensuring seamless communication across departments. They brought together representatives from engineering, quality control, legal affairs, public relations, and customer service to facilitate a holistic approach toward crisis management. Picture a superhero team, but instead of capes, they wore business suits. Next up on their list of changes was to enhance communication protocols. Toyota launched a multi-channel strategy to guarantee timely distribution of information during crises. This included notifying customers directly via mail and email, organizing briefings for dealerships, issuing press releases, and going full tilt on social media updates. Regular press conferences and media briefings became the norm to keep the public updated, maintain a consistent narrative, and directly address any concerns. Transparency was clearly back in style. Recognizing that preparation is key, Toyota implemented crisis preparedness training for employees at all levels. This meant conducting sessions that focused on crisis management protocols, complete with simulations to prepare teams for a variety of potential scenarios. The emphasis was clear: swift action, transparency, and putting customer safety front and center. In line with their proactive approach, Toyota created rapid response teams that are always ready to jump into action should an emerging issue arise. Equipped with the resources and authority needed to make decisive moves, these teams are designed to ensure that potential crises are tackled promptly, preventing escalation. It's like having a fire department ready to extinguish flames before they can spread. Reflecting their core philosophy, Toyota employed the principles of continuous improvement, or Kaizen, to consistently evaluate and refine their crisis management processes. Post-crisis evaluations became a regular occurrence to identify areas that could be improved. Feedback loops were established to ensure that valuable lessons from past crises shape future strategies. In addition to these protocols, Toyota also prioritized strengthening its quality control measures. Knowing that solid quality control is fundamental to their brand reputation, they significantly enhanced their testing procedures and supplier vetting processes. Creating an automotive center of quality excellence in key regions meant they could localize quality oversight effectively. Smart moves like these underscored their commitment to safety. To elevate their capabilities even further, Toyota decided to engage external experts to conduct independent reviews. This fresh perspective helped identify blind spots within the organization, ensuring a level of accountability and vigilance that is essential for mitigating future risks. Let's not forget about the importance of customer engagement initiatives directly affecting public trust. Post-crisis efforts focused on rebuilding that trust, implementing outreach programs aimed at informing customers about safety improvements and inviting feedback on products. By genuinely including customers in discussions surrounding safety, Toyota aims to restore faith in its brand, proving that they're not just about profits, but genuinely care about their customers' well-being. Toyota has also been shaped by keenly observing the pitfalls of its competitors. Let's talk about how the failings of giants like General Motors, Ford, and Volkswagen taught Toyota invaluable lessons in resilience, quality, and innovation. When giants stumble, take for instance General Motors, a giant that once dominated the automotive landscape. However, it faced crippling challenges, especially in the late 20th century. They struggled to adapt to the rapidly changing consumer preferences that were shifting dramatically towards fuel-efficient vehicles. Instead of embracing this seismic shift, GM continued to churn out oversized SUVs and gas guzzlers, essentially sticking their heads in the sand. They overlooked the clear demand for smaller, more economical cars. This failure to pivot not not only cost them market share, but also user trust, which is far more precarious. Then we have GM's damaging quality control issues. The infamous ignition switch crisis from 2009 serves as a glaring example. Over 2.6 million vehicles were recalled due to defects that linked to numerous accidents and, tragically, fatalities. This blatant negligence didn't just hurt the company financially, it obliterated consumer trust and tarnished their reputation irreparably. In the auto industry, trust is everything, and GM's inability to maintain it was a costly blunder. Now let's shift gears to Ford. The Pinto scandal of the 1970s is a chapter most auto enthusiasts would prefer to forget. The Pinto was embroiled in a horrific safety scandal due to fatal design flaws that made it susceptible to explosive fires and rear-end collisions. In a chilling example of misplaced priorities, Ford put cost-cutting measures above safety improvements. The result? A staggering recall of 1.5 million vehicles and a wave of legal liabilities that would haunt the company for years. It sends a strong message: when safety is put on the back burner, the fallout can be catastrophic. As if Ford's struggles weren't enough, their lack of responsiveness to market changes also proved detrimental. During the oil crises of the 1970s and 1980s, consumer interest in fuel-efficient cars surged. Ford, in a classic case of slow adaptation, failed to make the pivot quickly enough. This oversight allowed competitors like Toyota, which had already aligned its vision with market demands, to capture a significant chunk of the market share while Ford floundered. And let's not forget Volkswagen, a brand that once stood as a paragon of engineering excellence until it descended into scandal with its emissions cheating debacle. In a move that shocked both consumers and regulators alike, Volkswagen cheated emissions tests, resulting in a massive recall of approximately 11 million vehicles worldwide. The fallout, billions in fines and legal fees, alongside a devastation of VW's reputation that will take years, if not decades, to repair. This disaster serves as a stark reminder that compromise and deception can lead to an overarching loss of brand integrity. Adapt and conquer. As Toyota observed these high-profile failures, it meticulously analyzed each misstep and infused valuable lessons into its operational strategies. The contrast between Toyota and its competitors begins to paint a picture of a company steadfastly committed to quality control. Learning from GM's crisis, Toyota established rigorous quality assurance protocols through its renowned Toyota Production System. This framework not only emphasizes continuous improvement, but also empowers employees at all levels to act decisively when defects are detected. No more sweeping problems under the rug, because every employee plays a crucial role in upholding quality. When it comes to market responsiveness, Toyota took swift lessons from its faltering competitors. They recognized that the automotive landscape could change in the blink of an eye, and businesses need to stay agile. By implementing a flexible manufacturing system, Toyota can adjust production volumes based on real-time consumer demand. This keen awareness and readiness to adapt allows Toyota to remain ahead of the curve and respond effortlessly to shifts in preferences and trends. Safety is another area where Toyota took a definitive stance. The Pinto scandal vividly highlighted the vital need to prioritize safety over profit margins and cost savings. Toyota learned this crucial lesson and fully integrated it into their operational ethos. Their commitment to safety is evident not only through their extensive and rigorous testing protocols, but also through their proactive recall strategies. When potential issues are flagged, Toyota jumps into action. No hesitation allowed. It's about ensuring that customer safety sits at the forefront of every decision. In the automotive world, knowledge is power, and Toyota has implemented these powerful lessons into every facet of its organization. The company understands that when you keep your eyes open and learn from the missteps of others, you set the stage for your own success. By fostering a culture of accountability, open communication, and commitment to quality, Toyota has managed to rise above the fray while competitors floundered around them. Delving deeper into how these failures shape Toyota's future, we discover their tireless commitment to quality control. After witnessing GM's struggles, Toyota became fanatical about implementing stringent quality assurance measures. Their Toyota Production System acts as a bulwark against quality issues, with a promise of continuous improvement that keeps the wheels of innovation turning. Employees feel empowered to report faults immediately without fear of retribution, creating an environment where quality reigns supreme. Market responsiveness isn't just a buzzword for Toyota, it's a core principle. Their dynamic production strategies allow them to cater swiftly and efficiently to the ever-changing dynamics of consumer preferences. While competitors scramble to regain their footing, Toyota rides the wave of market expectations with grace and ease. This agility allows them to stay relevant in a competitive automotive market because adaptability is key. In a fast-paced industry like automotive manufacturing, the ability to learn and adapt is critical. Toyota's rise to prominence didn't just happen, it's been a strategic journey marked by keen observation, robust planning, and a resolute commitment to quality. The company has transformed setbacks faced by others into stepping stones toward success. The lesson is clear: watch, learn, and then do better. What do you think are the most important lessons that other companies can learn from Toyota's journey? Have you experienced any of Toyota's vehicles, and what has your experience been like? Let us know in the comment below.